Along with Ben Carroll on the radio side of producing, the television side, it's Aaron Gurnis. I'm Tony Ansetti here on the spring into summer edition of Friday Night Live on the Iowa Sports Connection Radio Network. By the way, the state track meet is coming up, the co-ed track and field championships at Drake Stadium in Des Moines. And when you're in town, if you can't make it there, and you can't get to the meet, we have it covered with our friends at TrackIowa.com, the new website. TrackIowa.com will be streaming video live of every race all 3 days. You can order a DVD copy of the meet as well, or get on demand subscription of the professional multi-camera coverage. Even the timing and results integrated into the TV-like video coverage. Again, that's TrackIowa.com. And listen, next Friday night, and there's nothing like live action at the state track meet, but we can make it happen for you. TrackIowa.com is covering all the state track meet events, and we can give you a chance to win a free video subscription to TrackIowa.com. To win, all you have to do is watch this TV show on WHO TV 13 or online at Ustream.tv, and the first person to call in with the code word that will be on the screen will win their choice of a TrackIowa.com DVD or a video subscription to the high school state track meet. So stay tuned next Friday on May 20th for a chance to win that prize. Right now, I can call him a Hall of Famer, and maybe by tomorrow afternoon we can call him the all-time Division III winningest softball coach in college history. And that is George Wares, the longtime coach of the Central Dutch softball team. They take on Coe tomorrow at noon, right there in Pella, in the NCAA Division III National Softball Regionals. And Coach Wares, thanks for giving us a few moments tonight.
Well, thank you very much for allowing me to be on.
You bet. Well, where are you at for dinner, by the way? I think I had to pull you away from dinner, didn't we?
No, actually, we're putting it on hold, so we'll do this, and then we'll go out and be a little more relaxed at dinner.
Well, that'll be great. Well, Coach Wares, first of all, congratulations. I mean, you have a long-time target on your back at that Central Dutch program. I remember back in the days being right here from the Warren County and Des Moines area, covering the Simpson programs and the Central programs that made it to those NCAA Division three tournaments in the late 90s, mid and late 90s, and how outstanding that was. But what a tradition you've built at Central. You've got to be looking back at, as you look at these 906 victories, and boy, there are a heck of a lot of young ladies you can remember and think about during those times.
Yeah, it'd be hard to even begin to make the list of people, obviously, but anytime something like that happens, number one, you have to think of all the tremendous assistants that I've been privileged to have. Very, very fortunate, particularly at our level, to get some of the quality assistants that we've had, including our current staff. And then as you mentioned, the quality players, you don't do this without a tremendous amount of skilled athletes, and you referred to the 90s, where obviously Simpson was loaded with the Kelly Shade era, and then, just different times, just the quality of competition in the Iowa Conference just makes you get better, or you're not going to be successful.
To hear 906 victories, Coach, I mean, that's almost got to be numbing. Does it seem like it's been that long to you?
Oh, not at all. Not at all. I was asked the question, when's the thought of retirement? And it's kind of amazing when somebody asks that. And I said, oh, yeah, I'm getting older. And I said, well, it's not something I really think about. So right now, it's just incredibly enjoyable. And, when I look at it mathematically, it's like, wow, this has been a long time. But it certainly has not seemed that long.
Well, I figured by now, with umpires like Mark Amadeo, who I know personally, that might have ended your career wanting to stay as a coach, though.
Well, you just got to learn how to deal with people like that, And all kidding aside, he's a very good umpire. And when you do it this long, you get to know umpires, and they get to know you, and that can be a very good thing. And also, it can be kind of tough because you see each other a lot. But we've had very, very quality umpires in the Iowa Conference over the years.
Well, that's one thing I was going to bring up, the Iowa Conference. When you talk about softball at the Division III level nationally, I mean, is there a better conference to play in? I mean, if you're not ready for an NCAA tournament run, then something's wrong, because that's an outstanding softball conference.
No question about it. During the course of the years, different leagues have had their day, and now obviously there's a lot of strength on the West Coast and in Texas. But if you take the consistency of the Iowa Conference, just looking at the fact that we've got 3 teams in this year, and we've had as many as 4 teams in the NCAA playoffs, and you look at the number of championships in the league, national championships. So there's no question that if you do well in the Iowa Conference, you're going to have a shot. And this year again, Luther's in the championship bracket game at Eau Claire region, and obviously Coe or us, one of us is going to be in the championship game of the Central region. So again, it speaks volumes for the competition that we we have to face game in and game out in our league.
Yeah, it sure does. And, talking about Eau Claire, boy, the trips I had, that's a great place for a national championship. The hospitality kind of reminds me of Des Moines in a way, and the hospitality in that ballpark's put in a little spot out there in the middle of a park that's just fun to watch, especially under the lights. That's a beautiful place under the lights.
It's a tremendous place. They've got the old Fenway type scoreboard where they put the numbers up manually, and the probably that makes it most special, including the place that the Nationals are this year at Salem, is that the people there are just so excited to host it. And when you're excited about having a Division III event, and the hospitality that you get at those cities makes it incredibly special. And you talked about Des Moines. I'd like to see the day maybe a certain place in Des Moines, wherever that might be, gets the Division III national tournament, because I think Des Moines would do a great job of hosting it as well.
Yeah, and we'd be remiss not to talk about this too, because the state of Iowa and high school softball. One of the reasons Division III softball is so good, the feeder system really, when you look at the Division III schools, you look at the rosters, it's Iowa high school student athletes that make those rosters up, and that tells us a lot about what we produce here in the state of Iowa.
It's always been that way, and I think you look at the quality of the programs, quality of coaching, and then I think we get a lot of situations where the very, very good players in the state of Iowa will choose a Division III program in our conference that's very, very competitive, sometimes over some programs that would be at a Division II, Division I, because they think they do have a shot to be in a competitive situation and a chance to win a national championship. So without the quality Iowa kids, none of us in this league are going to be as successful as we've been.
We're talking to George Wehrs. He's the Central College softball coach, and tomorrow it's at noon, right, over at Pella?
12 o'clock, correct.
You take on Co. Tell us about this competition you've had with Co now. You're in the winner's bracket game at noon. Talk about Co and your competition tomorrow.
Well, I wish they were somewhere else. It's one of those things, the familiarity can be good or bad. We played them 3 times, and we won 2 one-run games here, 3-2 and 5-4. And then the conference tournament, we just had one of those marathon games. They beat us 8-7 in 14 innings. So, easily we could be 3-0 against them, and we could be 0-3. That's how tight those matchups are. So we anticipate a very similar game, and it's a situation where when you see each other so much, it'll be very, very intense, and I think the fans that go down and see it, in addition to the 10 o'clock game, you've got the number 1 team in the country, Linfield of Oregon, playing a very good Washington University team, so I think there's some quality softball to be seen tomorrow.
I wish we had more time, but as quickly as you possibly can, we need to highlight some of the key young ladies, especially starting in the circle behind the plate, some of the key young ladies on this softball team this year.
Okay, well, our pitching staff, we go with 3. Kylie Litzberg, who actually is one of our out-of-state kids. She's a senior from Mount Prospect, Illinois, and then we've been going with our number 2 kid, Bree Haycraft, who a lot of people from Des Moines would recognize as being in the state tournament from North Scott High School. And behind the plate, we've got Caitlin Miller, sophomore from Newton, Iowa. And the other Iowa kids, Des Moines kids in particular, we have Angela Davis, junior from West Des Moines Valley, starting at second, and Annie Sarcone, a freshman from Dowling, starting at shortstop. And then we have Holly Von Fumetti, who is a junior from Johnston High School, starting in center field. So those are the Iowa kids, particularly the Metro kids that we have in our starting lineup.
Well, Coach Wehrs, I appreciate you setting some time aside. We were hoping to get you tomorrow morning, but things changed, and we're happy to get you on tonight. We wish you the best of luck, and we know one thing, whether it's tomorrow or any time in the next few games that you end up playing, 907 all-time winningest coach, and before it all happens, I want to congratulate you and thank you on behalf of all the young ladies that have been through your program and the fans at Central on what you've achieved. Congratulations, Coach.
I appreciate it very much. Thanks for the time, and hopefully we can get it done tomorrow, and if for no other reason, we'd like to keep playing this year.
Okay. Thanks, Coach Wehrs. Have a great dinner tonight.
All right. Thanks a lot.
All right. George Wehrs, Central College softball coach, 906 victories, 1 more, and he's the all-time winningest coach in Division III softball history. And also, not a lot of national titles, and he's hoping to get that Dutch program on another title run. By the way, with the state co-ed track and field championships next week at the Drake Blue Oval, last year's team champions in 4A were Iowa City West, the 3A champion Mount Vernon Lisbon, and 2A Gilbert and Solentide, and in 1A Central Lyon of Rock Rapids. That's the girls' side. On the boys' side, hoping to be back to defend, in 4A Cedar Rapids, Washington, 3A Bishop Heelan of Sioux City, 2A Solon, and in 1A Madrid. Online at iowasportsconnection.com, we posted the all-time best times in the state on both the girls and boys side in all the events, the field events, as well as the 4x relays and the distant medley relays as well. Go to iowasportsconnection.com. And later tonight or tomorrow, we'll have the golf results. qualifiers from the state and the boys side, and also some more state tournament update and the state qualifiers in the co-ed state track and field championships, as well as those results become finalized. So we thank everybody for listening to tonight's Iowa Sports Connection production of Friday Night Live, the Spring into Summer edition. For producer Ben Carroll, and for that's on the radio side. On the television side, our producer's been Aaron Gurnis. I'm Tony Anseni, in for Mike Ricker tonight, and reminding you that as you go through life, and then as you compete into sports, to always be positive, to always be competitive, to always be a good sport, to always pursue victory with honor. Have a championship weekend, and God bless America.